All right, so the section I'm going to go through here is the adding and subtracting section. So I'm going to go through all the questions from the Jeopardy problem. And you can skip around as you need to. All right, so the first one that we had, it was 4 times the square root of 5 plus 3 times the square root of 5. So remember, when we're adding or subtracting radicals, the radicals need to be exactly the same. And in this case, they are. They're both the square root of 5. So we can go ahead and add the numbers out front. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So it's 7 times the square root of 5. All right, that is it for that one. All right, I'm just going to keep scrolling down. Rather than pausing it and rewriting, I'm just going to scroll down and make it a little bit easier for myself. All right, the second one we had 8 times the square root of 3 plus 5 times the square root of 2 minus 5 times the square root of 3 minus the square root of 2. All right, so from here, we need to combine our like radicals. So square root of 3 and square root of 3 are exactly the same. Square root of 2 and square root of 2 are exactly the same. So we need to go ahead and combine those radicals. So 8 root 3 minus 5 root 3, so 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. So it's 3 times the square root of 3. And then for root 2, we have 5 minus 1, which is 4, so plus 4 times the square root of 2. All right, that's it for that one. The next one that we have, it was 3 times the square root of 12 plus the square root of 75. So what we need to do now is both of these problems that we're given, they were already completely simplified. Root 2, root 3, and root 5, you can't simplify at all. So here we need to go ahead and simplify these. Well, 12 can be rewritten as the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, and the square root of 4 is 2, so I can bring that out front because I can actually take the square root of that. I cannot take the square root of 3, so 2 times 3 is 6, so this simplifies to 6 times the square root of 3. All right, then I go ahead and try to reduce 75, so that can be the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. I know what the square root of 25 is, that's 5, so that can come out front, so it's plus 5 times the square root of 3. All right, now these are the exact same radicals, so once again, I can combine the numbers out front. 6 plus 5 is 11, so it's 11 root 3. All right, that is it for this answer. All right, the next one we had was negative 2 times the square root of 24 plus 2 times the square root of 12 plus 4 times the square root of 6. All right, same thing. We need to go ahead and reduce all these. So 24 can be the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. And the square root of 4 I know is 2, so I can multiply it out front. 12 can be the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. The square root of 4 is 2, so I can multiply that out front. 6 I can't reduce at all because it's 3 and 2. And we can't take the square root of 3, we can't take the square root of 2, and there's only one of each. So then I can rewrite this as negative 4 times the square root of 6 plus 4 times the square root of 3 plus 4 times the square root of 6. Well, root 6 and root 6 are the same. Well, negative 4 plus 4, they cancel each other out, so it's 0 times the square root of 6 or just 0. And our final answer is just the 4 times the square root of 3. All right, and then the last one that we had for this section was negative 2 times the square root of 72 minus 3 times the square root of 2 plus 4 times the square root of 18 plus the square root of 32. So once again, we need to reduce all the ones that we can. Well, 72 is the same as 36 times 2. And the square root of 36 is 6, so I can multiply that out front. We can't reduce 2 at all. 18 could be the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. Well, the square root of 9 is 3, so we can multiply that out front. 32 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. The square root of 16 is 4, so we can bring that one out front. Well, 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 times the square root of 2, because that's what was left over, minus 3 times the square root of 2. 4 times 3 is plus 12 times the square root of 2, and it's plus 4 times the square root of 2, because that's what was left over. Now, the negative 12 root 2 and positive 12 root 2 cancel out, and negative 3 plus 4 is 1, so the final answer was just the square root of 2. All right, that is it for this video. I know I went through them really quickly, but we already discussed most of these or some of these in class. If you have any questions, just reach out and remind.